The third of the barrier behaviors, the most disgusting on the list, which is pretty judgmental, isn't it? And none of you would do this, but think of your neighbors who do. Okay, that is the behavior of directing. Pick that up, put that away. It's time for your shower now. Be sure and get over and have some milk before the bus comes. Can you imagine human beings talking to each other like that? That says, I see you as no more capable or intelligent than a German Shepherd, but not nearly as well trained or obedient. If you were more like a dog and less like a person, both of our lives would be so much more expedient. And then my neighbor, who I hear talk to everyone in his family like that, like animals, goes and buys an expensive puppy and spends 10 weeks at obedience school learning to communicate effectively with its dog so that he won't deny it any of its potential. And his wife and children, who had far more potential but required more respect, he reduces to the level of animal with his directing so they act like it. Now, a day goes by, you don't hear through his window, I told you to take these dishes and you left the knives and forks. And they say, you didn't say knives and forks. And then they're off in that process. So remember, whenever you use directing with people, they immediately become angry, dependent, and passive-aggressive. You know what passive-aggressive is? I heard a cute one. It's a puppy that while it's licking your face may be wetting in your lap. Okay? Passive-aggressive means that I will grudgingly do the minimum necessary to comply, leaving as much of it undone as possible to bug you. And it will require you to remind me so many times you feel as impotent and frustrated as I do. The tragedy is the more people direct, the more they believe they have to direct because people won't do anything unless they tell them. Not realizing the reason they don't do anything is because they tell them everything rather than involve them in finding ways to get it done. I don't see any reason you need to say to a child, don't forget your coat. The more you say don't forget your coat, the more they blame you when they forget it. Let them experiment with coldness. Let them go out on a real cold day without a coat. When they come in all blue and frostbitten, instead of shooting upon them, you should have remembered your coat, just say, dear, I feel real sad that you've reached this state. But now having encountered it, what can you think of that you could do next time you go out to not encounter that again? And from then on, they'll think it through on their own. I think that's important. You don't need to say to a child, don't forget your lunch. Just say, what experiences have you had with hunger the last few days? Okay, and what steps could you take today to avoid that? When you invite or encourage their assistance in thinking through and resolving a problem, you empower them and show your respect for them. And you can validate this in a lot of different ways. In a nutshell, go home tomorrow night, find someone whose shoes and socks are in your living room. As you steam through, say, put these shoes away before dinner. 5 minutes later, what will have happened? Generally nothing, but if the shoes are gone, the socks you failed to mention will be left there as a passive-aggressive gesture. You find yourself saying, I told you to take the shoes, and you left the socks, and they'll say, you didn't say socks. And then you'll say, do I have to tell you every little thing? They'll say, yeah, that's how I get even. But if you have the courage, a week from now, same person, come in one of those days where you got Legos all over the living room floor, Nintendo wired into your communal TV, book bag on your recliner, skateboard against the couch, sound familiar? Just come in and say, look like you've been having a busy day too. And then, if you got a legitimate reason, like your dignity and your mental health, okay, call that person aside a little later and say, something important has come up for me, my dignity and my mental health. And unless I can get some help from you tonight, I'm going to be in a jam. So if you'd be willing to take care of the living room and straighten that up for me, I'd appreciate it a great deal. It would help me out a lot. What will happen in 7 out of 10 cases by actual government study costing us over $442,000? Okay, they will generally get rid of the Legos, do something with the Nintendo, get the book bag and skateboard out of the way, and then look around and see what other things need to be done. And half of them that go that far will finish by saying, is there anything else I can do to help you get ready? What was the difference? When I invited or encouraged your assistance, working something through, I empowered you and validated you as an intelligent person. When I directed your compliance, I reduced you to an object on the chessboard of life, and you resented it.